Are you eating healthy and still after every single meal you feel bloated, tired, in pain, or nauseous? Well, this could be because of gut dysbiosis, something that most people either don't recognize, most doctors don't think about, and could be holding your health hostage as a result. Hi, my name is Dr. Forrest Sauer. I'm a chiropractor who practices functional medicine, fixing the root cause of the disease instead of masking symptoms, and we have helped thousands of clients fix the root cause of their imbalances so that way they can then go on and live a rich and healthy life. And what we're going to talk about today is not just simply what gut dysbiosis is, but how we would fix it in our clinic. Now, let's go ahead and jump in. So, let's break it down. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria. There's a lot of them. There are some that are good, there are some that are bad. And what gut dysbiosis is, dys meaning different, means that there is an imbalance of bad bacteria and good bacteria. I mean, there's too much bad and too little good. So, what are we going to do? We need to bring that back into balance. Many people ask, what is the difference between IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and gut dysbiosis? Well, gut dysbiosis usually comes before irritable bowel syndrome even occurs or even leaky gut occurs. See, this is the very, very beginning of when your body starts having some problems. And it's also pretty safe to assume that if you have gut dysbiosis, then you also have some leaky gut just because of time. It doesn't take long for your gut lining to break down. That's beside the point. Let's jump back in. What these bacteria do in your gut, it does more than just simply break down your food. It absorbs the vitamins and minerals that your body needs. It helps detoxify inflammation. This bacteria helps regulate and keep a healthy immune system. This also goes if you have an autoimmune condition. Your gut bacteria also helps detoxify hormones. Hormones like serotonin and dopamine. You have 800% more serotonin located in your gut than you do in your brain. This is also why, if you're struggling with feelings of depression or anxiety, why it's very common to also have some challenges with your gut, because your gut and your brain, they talk to one another. They talk to one another all of the time. And so when we get a client in and they're struggling with depression or anxiety, we cannot completely ignore the gut. We need to look at the gut to make certain that your body's actually producing enough serotonin in your body so that way you can feel happy and relaxed and have joy and purpose in life. In fact, you can even think of your gut as a garden. You need to water your garden. You need to make certain it has the proper fertilizer in it so the plants can grow. And if your garden is not healthy, you're not going to get the right plants to grow like you want them to. So let's make certain that your garden is healthy. So here's some signs that you have gut dysbiosis. Number one, bloating, gas, or nausea. If there's an imbalance in the bacteria in your gut and in your stomach, that is going to create the bloating or the gas creation in your stomach, leading to the bloat and the pain. You can have gas. Instead of having the gas come up through your esophagus, through your mouth and burping, it can go down the other way. Nausea, having that pressure, or if you're eating something that your body shouldn't, like a food sensitivity or a preservative or a pesticide that's on the food, that can create feelings of nausea, meaning your body is noticing and recognizing you shouldn't have eaten that food. It is poison. Get it out. That's why you get nausea. Constipation or diarrhea is another very common symptom of gut dysbiosis. Now, how could this be? How could you be struggling with both constipation and diarrhea? Great question. Here's how it works. You have bacteria in your gut. Now, your gut is going to be a little bit different than someone else's. And it doesn't mean that your gut imbalance is going to be the same as someone else's. And so while someone could be struggling with constipation, the other person could be struggling with diarrhea, but it's still being a problem with the bacteria in your gut, meaning gut dysbiosis. Food sensitivities. Food sensitivities are on the rise. There is more people than ever before that are sensitive to gluten, peanuts, dairy, corn. Here's why. In my practice, this is what we've found to be true. I'm not saying it's true for everybody. Here's what we found to be true is that people are becoming more and more sensitive of not the dairy molecule or the wheat or gluten molecule, but what has been done to it, the processing, the diet of the animal. How healthy is the animal that's actually producing the milk? How healthy is the wheat plant that's actually producing the wheat? How many chemicals are being sprayed on the wheat? How many chemicals is the dairy being exposed to? That whole processing, like when I'm saying processing, there's that whole process that goes from farm to when it gets on your table that are increasing in the toxic exposure, in the chemical change in the actual molecule that most times our bodies will recognize as enemies and create inflammation. Brain fog, low mood, or anxiety are very common causes of dysbiosis. If you have gut dysbiosis and your bacteria is out of balance, that will create inflammation. All that brain fog is inflammation in the brain. I know this because I used to struggle with this firsthand, where brain fog, I used to have brain fog so bad that we'd be in a conversation with my friend and I'd forget my friend's name or what we were talking about. So brain fog is just simply brain inflammation. And if we're always being exposed to an imbalance in our gut and we're not fixing it, this is going to create, like a vicious cycle, more and more and more inflammation inside of our body. Hormonal imbalances. Yes, the gut dysbiosis is going to create imbalances in your hormones, not just simply with estrogen, also with progesterone, serotonin, dopamine, like we've already said, cortisol. A gut dysbiosis is stressful on the body, so it's going to be an internal stress coming from the inside, not just all the stress that is going on the outside of our life, but this is going to be internal. Sugar cravings. There's no secret anymore that bad bacteria increases sugar cravings. And so if you have a absolute insatiable thirst or hunger for sugar, we need to make certain that we are fixing the gut dysbiosis so that way you don't have to willpower your way through and not eat sugar. Most of the time, sugar cravings are being actually caused by hormonal imbalances. So how do we defeat the sugar cravings? Well, we need to actually fix the hormones because our willpower can only last for so long. So how does this happen in the first place? What's the cause of gut dysbiosis? Standard American lifestyle. It is no secret that Americans eat more carbohydrates, bad fats, sugar, pesticides, preservatives than any other nation in the world. It's also no surprise that Americans take more prescription drugs than anybody else. All of these chemicals will create an imbalance in your gut that your body was never meant to handle in the first place. Antibiotic use is another very common cause. Now, what antibiotics do inside of your body, sometimes they're necessary. You need to take antibiotics if you're going through a really severe illness, okay? So I'm not saying that all antibiotics is terrible. However, I think they're overused. That's just simply my personal opinion. Take it or leave it. I don't care. But what antibiotics do inside of your body is it's like a nuclear bomb inside of your gut. It kills everything. It kills not just simply the bad bacteria, it also kills the good bacteria. And this leveling of the playing field is fine if you repopulate your body with the right bacteria. But that's not what most people do. Most Americans are living the standard American lifestyle, eating too many carbohydrates, sugar, bad fats, or they're too stressed out because of their illness. And this is the perfect breeding ground for bad bacteria to flourish. Refined carbohydrates and sugar. Refined carbohydrates and sugar simply feed the bacteria like wood to a campfire. If you want to have a bigger campfire, eat more carbohydrates and more sugar because this is just simply fanning the flames on an already sick environment. And the last thing is low stomach acid. Low stomach acid is something that I believe, in my personal opinion, one of the most overlooked easy fixes when it comes to gut dysbiosis. Here's how it works. If this is your stomach, if my hand is your stomach, this is your esophagus, this is where food comes in, this is where food goes out. In between is your stomach. So what happens is if you have low stomach acid, you're not going to break down the foods and vitamins and minerals like you should. Well, it needs to go from your stomach into your small intestine. What your body's going to do with partially undigested food in your small intestine is it's going to try to do what the stomach was supposed to do in the first place, and that is completely digest and break down these foods, which means you're going to have an imbalance in the bacteria. You're going to have stomach bacteria in your small intestine that should never be there in the first place. Now, if you've made some mistakes before with your lifestyle or dietary choices in the past, don't beat yourself up. This is about, now that we know what we know now, let's go ahead and figure out how we can fix it. Now, the first step in fixing the gut dysbiosis is first, let's get the proper lab testing done. This is going to eliminate the guessing games. Now you know what's going on inside of you, and now we know how to fix it. So is it Candida? Is it C. difficile? Is it H. pylori? Is it a parasite? Is it some other random bacteria or virus that we don't know about? All of these need to be addressed differently. And that's why we need to do the proper lab testing, because you're not going to address an H. pylori infection the same way as you would a parasitic infection. That's why the proper lab testing needs to be done first. Next is we need to clear out the bad stuff. Most of the time, that means decreasing carbohydrates and sugars. That's where you need to start. After that, then you can start focusing specifically on the H. pylori infection if you have it. By the way, 1 in 2 Americans has an H. pylori infection, whether you know it or not. That was a startling fact that I just recently learned. The next thing is having the specific, like I said, vitamins and minerals for that infection specifically to get rid of the hidden gut dysbiosis. And that is how we start fixing the root cause. Now, the next step is so that way we can actually start rebuilding the terrain of your gut. You have good and bad bacteria. This is more than just simply taking a probiotic and trying to overwhelm the bad bacteria with good bacteria. One of my favorite probiotics is something called Saccharomyces boulardii. It is not just simply a bacteria, it is antiviral, it is antibacterial, and it helps feed and nourish your gut lining. Now, if you have tried taking L-glutamine, aloe vera, or marshmallow extract to heal the gut lining, to heal and build up the mucosal layer in your gut, it's supposed to be there for natural protection. If you've tried that and it actually creates more problems, that's a sign that your gut is red, it is inflamed, and it is not ready for that yet. All that L-glutamine, aloe vera, or marshmallow extract will do on a red and inflamed gut is it'll create more problems. So if you've tried that and it hasn't worked, it's because you're trying to put the cart before the horse. So what we do in our clinic is we need to actually start healing the stomach acid, fix the gut bacteria dysbiosis first, and then we get to graduate into the L-glutamine, aloe vera, and marshmallow extract. Remember, we need to focus on not just simply killing the bad bugs, but restoring the good bugs to make certain that we're feeding these. How do you feed the good bacteria? Well, you've heard of fermented foods like pickled vegetables or sauerkraut or kimchi. These are all great, and there is very measurable improvements when you eat the fermented veggies because it feeds the good bacteria. But I think there's too much emphasis being focused on the fermented veggies and not enough attention focused on eliminating the garbage, eliminating the crap. If you design one cheat day per week, I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. It's simply not enough. You're creating way too much inflammation, especially if you've been dealing with these gut challenges for several months, years, or decades. Your body just doesn't have the time to come up for air and breathe. Your gut is the foundation for your health. I have seen women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. I've seen men in that same situation where their gut has been out of balance, and it is a downhill spiral if we don't address your gut health because it is the foundation for everything else. So if you have hormonal imbalances, brain fog, if you have inflammation, and you don't first look at your gut and take care of the basics first, we're going to be on that vicious cycle, that merry-go-round time and time again and never getting off. So that's why getting the proper lab testing, healing the root cause of the problem, and then we can start focusing on your hormones. Then we can start focusing on weight loss that you're actually going to maintain instead of just simply yo-yoing. So if you're looking to balance out your cravings, level off your mood swings, and take care of depression, anxiety, and your gut imbalances and the gut dysbiosis and fix the root cause of the problem, hit the like button, reach out to us, see if we would be a good fit to work together, or subscribe to the channel. My name is Dr. Forrest Sauer, and I look forward to chatting with you soon.